honestly, these three on the fence. Let me see who's over here. Okay. So the bottom five. Ooh, to win 44 games and not make the play-in is crazy. Okay. So we have the Lakers, the Clippers, the Spurs, the Jazz, and the Trailblazers. Okay. I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say the Spurs are going to be in this play-in group. So let's move the Rockets out, and I believe we're going to move the Golden State Warriors out as well. So we're going to move those teams out. I'm going to put the Lakers in there, but them and Golden State, those are the ones I'm worried about. Ty Lue's a good coach, though. That's the only thing. And so the Pelicans, I might have to throw the Pelicans out, and then they're going to have to break that Pelicans team up. So the Blazers, definitely. The Blazers and Jazz, I believe, will be the worst teams in the West. The Spurs, I think they could be a play-in team. I think with Wemby a year of development, them getting pieces around him and then surrounding Chris Paul, and I know I've been putting a lot of emphasis on Chris Paul, but I believe they can make them at least a play-in team. And I think the Lakers should be in there over the Warriors. And I like how they try to hedge their bet because they put the Lakers, Rockets, and Grizzlies at the same record. I don't think the Rockets are. I think they're probably a year away from being in this play-in group. Yeah, because I would still put the Lakers. I would still put the Lakers here, even though LeBron's older. Until he starts to show that he's going to slow down, because even in the Olympics he looked like the best player on the team at times. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna say he's gonna be at least in the play-in. But okay, now we've done the East and the West. Hey, tell me what predictions you think I have wrong. But I think for now, that's what I'm going to go with. And the last thing we're going to do today is rank the most promising rebuilds. I'm just going off an article that, again, I have not read yet. So, and I have to look, that I have not read yet. So we will see how this goes. So they have some honorable mentions. They have the Utah Jazz. Who they have? Keontae George, Walker Kessler. They have Lauri Markkanen on that team. Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson, John Collins. John Collins is for contenders. I would try to go get him because even though he got dunked on by Anthony Edwards, if you look at him again, I like to look at efficient players. Honestly, same thing with Colin Sexton. I like to look at efficient players, and those two players are very efficient. So I would try to, and I don't think Colin Sexton will go as easily, but John Collins I feel like will. So I would try to see what I could get for John Collins if I was in that championship mold. The Bulls, because the Bulls, we don't know what they're doing. Just being honest, they got Josh Giddey from OKC. Who's the guard? He's about 6'4". He was in 6 Man of the Year. Why can't I think of people's names when I need them? Their rebuild is messy. Toronto, they have Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett. Oh, that's where Kelly Olynyk went. Okay. Pirtle, Bruce Brown. Yeah, Kelly Olynyk and Bruce Brown probably do need to get traded. Yeah. The Hornets, honestly, so they have Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball. But the thing is, until LaMelo can show he can be healthy, because I think he's been hurt the last 3 years, they're not going to really be able to do anything. Miles Bridges did sign back, which is a good sign, but I still don't think they make any noise. So they have at number 5, they have the Brooklyn Nets. I don't know, because they're saying they have the veterans and Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Johnson, Bojan Bogdanovic, and then they still have Ben Simmons. Oh, but they say his money comes off his deal next year, so that would be nice. I don't see why they would be number 5 on the rebuild, to be honest with you. I would rather have Toronto's situation if I were them. Yeah, or even the Jazz. I'd rather have either one of those situations over the Brooklyn Nets. The Washington Wizards. They have Kyle Kuzma, Brogdon. They just picked up Valanciunas. So I think they're trying to win, but I don't think that was a good move, to be honest with you. They did get Malcolm Brogdon. They did, but they sent out Avia. So that kind of messes up a rebuild, to be honest with you. I don't even know they should be on the list. They do have Alex Sarr. They do have Bilal Koulibaly. So they have two guys from France. Jordan Poole should still be on this team, but unless he goes back to Warriors, Jordan Poole, it doesn't even matter. Portland Trailblazers. I was sad to see that Trendon Watford wasn't still on this team, but they do have Shaedon Sharpe. They have Scoot Henderson. So they do have potential, but we have to see where that goes. Anthony Simons is still a young guy, but it looks like they're about to trade him. Excuse me. They did pick up Donovan Clingan. They have Denny Avia, but they still do have DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams, who didn't even play, and then Jeremy Grant. So they have a mix of talent. It's weird, but still not necessarily bad. The Detroit Pistons. So they're calling it a rebuild, but the way they picked up these pieces, they should be closing off on their rebuild. You have Cunningham, who I need him to be more efficient, because if he is efficient, for me, he jumps into a totally different tier of guard. And that's why I keep harping on his efficiency, because I think if he could get there, because even though what he's averaged, because his numbers look great, but the type of shots, for him to be 6'6" and shoot 41, 42% from the field is unacceptable. He has to be able to get closer to that 45, 46% range. They did say he shot career high 35% from three. As my lead guard, I would like to see that around 37, 38, but we'll take it. They do have Asar Thompson, Ron Holland, Jalen Duren, and Jaden Ivey. But I like Jalen Duren the best out of that. Jaden Ivey has the talent, but I think he's a guy that probably will wind up like Malik Monk. A bouncy guy that could score. Probably just needs the ball, have the ball a little bit more, in my opinion. So I think that's what'll happen there. And the San Antonio Spurs were obviously going to be number one. They have Wembanyama, the number one, the number one guy. And so, does it say? Oh wow, I didn't realize that San Antonio owns Atlanta's 2027 first rounder in a swap. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. They own our first straight out. They own our 2027 first rounder, swap rights on Boston Celtics 2028 first round pick. I don't think that'll do anything. Most favorable from either the Dallas Mavericks or Minnesota Timberwolves, an unprotected 2031 pick from the Wolves, and the swap rights to the Kings 2031 selection. So some of these picks are a moot point. The 2028 Boston first round pick, I don't think. Well, it's still in 4 years, but I can see Boston still being good for 4 years. The 2030 Mavericks one, or the Minnesota Timberwolves, is interesting because that's 6 years from now. Anthony Edwards will be about 30. Luka probably be about 30, 31. So if they're still with their respective teams, they'll still be good. If not, then that pick will be great. The unprotected 2031 is great. The swap rights for the Kings pick is a 50-50 shot, to be honest with you. So the Spurs do have Stephon Castle, Jeremy Sohan, and the player I really like is Devin Vassell. I think Chris Paul is going to help his game out a lot, and I believe that with Wembanyama, they're going to be able to get a lot of open shots. And now having a lead guard who can control the pace and the flow and the action of the game, I think that's going to help out a lot. But guys, that is all we have for tonight. Thank you for listening. Thank you for eventually watching, and I guess I said my piece.